Hey everyone and welcome. We are Next Level Business Advisors and this is Business Stories of Success. If you want to break through and achieve your own business success by learning from other successful business owners, you're in the right channel. For more of our content, make sure you click subscribe and don't forget the bell icon so you're the first to be notified when new videos are added. Enjoy today's video.
Hello, hello, hello. You're with Mark Adams at Next Level Business Advisors, and I'm back. I'm happy to be joined by Kenny Ingersoll, who is the owner, the CEO of Ingersoll Enterprises. And we have a nice episode in store for you today as we discuss Kenny's journey to success. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Mark. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, I'm glad to have you. Before we get all into discussing success and what that looks like and how you've achieved it, why don't you give us a little bit of information about yourself? Who are you? And tell us a little bit about your business.
So I'm Kenny Ingersoll. Like he said, I'm a money mindset, dream big coach and podcast host. Short and simple.
Okay, all right. All right. And which one is your primary podcast? What was the other one? Mindset?
Money mindset and dream big coach.
Okay, all right. So what's your big game is money mindset and dreaming big. I like what I see behind your wall even. We become what we think about. Is that something you teach?
Yep, I've got a lot of inspirational quotes that I use in my trainings as well as for myself. So
I like it. I like it. So let's get into it. What role do you play in your business?
I am the owner, CEO. I wear all the hats in the business.
Okay. Okay. So are you a solopreneur or do you have anybody working with you?
No, at the moment I'm a solopreneur.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And how long have you been in business?
I'm about 7 years.
Okay. That's a good amount of time. They say that most businesses fail in the first five. So you're 2 years past that part. So you're doing something right, huh? Awesome, awesome. And just so we can make sure that we get all of our ducks in a row, if someone wants to find you, how do they reach you? Do you have a website, a phone number that they can?
So yeah, IngersollEnterprises.com, and it's got all my social media and contact info on there.
Okay. And just because this podcast is audio and visual, how do we spell Ingersoll for your website?
Ingersoll.
Okay, awesome. So IngersollEnterprises.com. All right, we got all that out the way. Let's talk a little bit about what you do and ask you this question. What makes you an expert in your field?
Because of the journey that I've taken myself, I've learned this firsthand. I've gone through the struggles, I've gone through the ups and downs, the trial and errors, whatever you want to call it. I've learned it firsthand, got the mentorship, got out of my own way. And so just personal experience and the drive behind it.
Okay. And so you lived a journey of financial challenges and finally success. Did I get that right?
Correct. I've had my own money mindset I had to shift and dream big myself and start dreaming big again and go through it all myself.
Gotcha. So now what made you decide to turn your journey into a business? This is, I think, a good question because a lot of people wonder how to start a business, what to look for. What made you turn your journey into something that you think is an actionable business?
So when I got to the understanding part of everything and really developing my money mindset, I realized that it clicked. This is the path of how I want to serve others. This is what aligned with me. And I also realized, early on that if I needed this, there are so many others that still need this. And, so I wanted to start teaching it because it was so helpful for me and my family, and because it aligned so well for me.
Okay. So now a lot of times when we start something like, okay, I have this journey and I want to do this, it's easy to just join a company and do it. Why did you decide or what made you take the leap to becoming a business owner?
I like the freedom that it gives me, and it is more challenging. I have joined companies with other businesses and collaborated and stuff. And I like some aspects about that, but I like some of the other freedoms and creativity that it allows me with having my own business. With other companies, you have kind of their set parameters that you have to fall within, and certainly not saying anything wrong with that, but I wanted to be able to add my own flavor to it, if you will, as well. So that's part of why I went to the business owner side of it.
Okay. Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense. A lot of business owners, they enjoy the, for want of a better word, autonomy, right? You get the freedom to sort of chart your course, right? And in a lot of ways, success or failure falls on your shoulders and only your shoulders, right? So that's also a nice thing. That's one of the reasons that I took the leap into business ownership. And I'm sure that a lot of business owners dictate or use that as some impetus to say, okay, this is why I want to do what I do. Here's another question for you. And remembering that our podcast is really entitled Stories of Success, the question is, how do you define success?
So yeah, that's a great question, because there's so many definitions of success. I define it as being able to do what I want, kind of how I want, run my business as I want, and for me, a lot of success includes family time when I want, and traveling, and yeah, just family time. Family time is vitally important. So my business revolves around my family time. So if I'm able to run my business, help serve others, make money while I'm with my family, that's success.
Okay, I like it. I like that aspect. Success, and I've done this interview many, many times, people all over the world. So we get different definitions of success. So I want to dive into that a little bit with you. You said that you're able to, success is running your business in a way that allows it to revolve around what you like family and what have you. So firstly, do you consider yourself successful?
I do.
Okay. And that's a good point. In fact, most times when I ask, right, who wants to do this podcast, only successful business owners do it. Some say I'm not successful yet, but I'm on the way. So awesome. So now the big question, how did you create the business or manipulate the business in such a way that you can find success?
Because of I knew what I wanted in my journey of going through all the growth and mindset changes and everything. I knew what I wanted. So that's how I started my business from the get-go, and did some tweaking, because I knew I wanted my family involved with it, and I wanted to revolve around it. So I knew I've turned down some things or tweaked some opportunities, if you will, or restructured some things so it revolves around my family time and what's important to me.
Okay. Was that easy for you to do, like to turn down opportunities?
No, sometimes it was difficult because they were really good opportunities, but I knew that it wasn't aligned with what I wanted, and that's not the path I wanted to take down. Maybe those opportunities will align better in the future, or we could restructure those, but it wasn't a good fit at the time.
Wow, that's interesting. I know when I started out my business and I started in taxes, I took just about anything I could take, right? If you had money, I could work with you. But over time, you evolve, right? And you say, okay, this is not aligning with the way I want to live my life, the way I want to run a business. And so you have to make those hard decisions. So if you're a business owner out there, it might be difficult to turn something down, right? To turn down an opportunity, to turn down money that's staring you in the face. But in the long run, it's not going to lead to success. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, 100%.
Awesome. Awesome. Do you continue to turn down opportunities now? What do you do now? How do you continue to maintain the kind of business you want? What are some things you do?
Yeah, I have a better feeling of how they fit, and so I'm able to filter out better or restructure if an opportunity comes up that doesn't quite align. I talk to the people in charge of that opportunity and say, what about this, can we tweak these things, so it still aligns, because I don't want to take their alignment away from them, but I don't want to miss up my alignment. So we kind of go back and forth sometimes and see if both paths can align somehow, and then go from there. Sometimes I still do turn down opportunity or part of the opportunity. Maybe it's 3 or 4 phase opportunity or possibilities per se. So it depends on the situation, on the opportunity.
I like it. I like it. So you have a little bit of flexibility. Well, not a little bit, perhaps a lot of flexibility when you're taking these opportunities before you just blithely say, I'm done. Right. That's one of the nice things about being an owner as well, right? Because you have the opportunity to be flexible, to sort of manipulate things. And I like that idea. So if people are like trying to figure out their path, it doesn't mean it's my way or the highway. It could be that, but you can also find different routes, right? And that might make it a successful an endeavor for you. So I'm going to ask you this question. I ask this of all my guests. What is one big mistake you've made in your business journey? But before you answer that, can we just pause for a brief break and a 30-second commercial? Do you know what it takes to be successful as a business owner? There are 5 keys that every business owner has to master in order to be successful. How do I know these keys? Well, I used to say that I made them up, but really, I've learned these 5 keys in 2 ways. My name is Marc Adams. I'm the owner of Next Level Business Advisors and the host of the podcast, Business Stories of Success. In the podcast, we discuss success with business owners from around the world. We talk about what it means to them, how they achieve it, and the single biggest quality or personality trait that's needed in order to be successful. As a profitability and growth business advisor, I work with business owners around the country to help them increase profit and or accelerate growth. Now I say or because some business owners aren't properly positioned to accelerate growth. In those cases, we actually focus on honing in on profitability. If you are a business owner and you're excited about improving your profit or accelerating your growth, feel free to download my free ebook, Mastering the 5 Keys to Make Your Business Successful. It's found at my website, nlbusinessadvisors.com/5 keys. That's the number 5 keys. You can also subscribe to my podcast, Business Stories of Success. And if you're really ready to start accelerating your growth, feel free to schedule your free discovery call. We'll talk about where you are today, what your goals are, your challenges, your obstacles, and I can help you to hurdle some of the hurdles to your own business success. Join me at Next Level Business Advisors and schedule your appointment today. Just kidding. All right. We're back. So what is one big mistake that you've made in your business journey?
One of the biggest mistakes is thinking I could figure it out and do it all on my own without mentorship.
Wow. Why you say that's a mistake?
Because it's extended how long it's taken me to get to where I am, and I've missed out on multiple opportunities that were in alignment with my business and to help me grow, because I didn't recognize and because I didn't have the mentorship to help me get to that point at that time.
So I'd like to jump into that a little bit deeper, if you don't mind. You mentioned mentors, and that's one of the questions I ask: how have mentors contributed to your success? So can you tell me a little bit more about like how your mentors helped your, I guess it's mindset even? How did they help accelerate your path to success?
Yeah, absolutely. Because they've been down the journey as well, they can tell me kind of shortcuts, if you will. I think of it, like you're on a road trip, and they've gone down the road trip before you. Hey, there's a roadblock on Highway 101 in 5 miles. Get off here and go around it this way. Otherwise, you'll be stuck at this roadblock or whatever, So a lot of shortcuts that way, or a lot of tips, Think, instead of looking at the way you're looking at it, look at it this way, and at least consider that possibility. and things like that have really, really helped to shift it and to change my perspective and open up my mental vision to more opportunity, more flexibility, more everything.
Awesome. Awesome. For the record, right? I am a business advisor. That's what I do. I help businesses do exactly what you're mentioning here. But I say for the record because I have a business advisor. I have a business coach. Even coaches have coaches, right? And it wasn't until I had my business advisors in place that one helped me to realize that there were certain things I could tweak that would help accelerate my growth. So I had stagnant. It wasn't stagnant. It was steady, but it wasn't exponential, right? And so sometimes a good coach or a good mentor can change your trajectory. Like you said, you missed out on opportunities because you didn't have a coach or an advisor. But when you got that, now the opportunity is coming, you know how to manage it and how to effectively grow. So mentors can be incredibly powerful. It seems like they've helped you out a lot as well. And in fact, you probably know the value of mentors because you mentor people when it comes to money mindsets. Right. And
Absolutely.
so you probably see breakthroughs a lot in the same way, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so, right? And it's nice feeling to be able to help somebody avoid a costly mistake or avoid disaster because you've been there before. You can help them to get out of it. I'm going to ask you this question. I'm going to pivot back to business ownership. What is the single most important quality you think that's needed to be a successful business owner?
The single most is endurance, not quitting.
Why do you say endurance?
Just being able to stick through with it. You'll have those up and downs, or those detours, those setbacks. All those things are going to come at you. And if you throw in the towel, you're never going to get to the finish line. So, and some finish lines may not be where you thought they were going to be, and they may not come when you thought they were going to come. So if you quit, you're never going to get there, and then you're never going to be able to enjoy your hard work that you've already put into it.
I like it. Awesome. Awesome. If you were speaking to a brand new business owner, they're looking for one nugget, one piece of advice, what advice would you give them?
I would say, along with the don't quit, I would say start now.
Why start now?
Because the moment, it will never be perfect. You'll never be ready. You'll never have the right stuff at the beginning. So just start with whatever you've got, with wherever you're at. Just start. Whatever
I
that
like
looks like for you, just start. Start now.
Okay. Awesome. 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 And you're right. I like what you just said. It's never going to be perfect. And if there's an expression about perfection, I forget it right now, but it's like if you're waiting for perfection, you'll never really get started. You have to have progress, and then that's how things go. You can work toward perfection, and you might never ever hit it, but if you're working toward it, you will have some success. I'm going to ask you one more question, if you don't mind. I like to ask this question because it's almost like a point of reflection. If you could go to right before you started your business, what advice would you give yourself?
I think, to add to the other things that we've just talked about, is get out of your own way. Find a mentor.
Why do you say that?
Because
I can
a
guess,
lot of
but
pardon me, what was that?
I said I can guess, but I want you to tell me why?
Yeah, for myself and a lot of my clients, they think they can figure it out on their own, and they do, but it just takes so much longer and it's so much harder, and it's almost like I was stubborn, and I thought it was this way and that was it. I didn't even think of going this way to get there, but I was getting in my own way and hindering my own progress.
Awesome, awesome. So get out of your own way. Once you learn how to do that, boy, you can really fly.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. I know, I know. Hey, I want to thank you so much, Kenny, for giving me some time. I know it's early on your coast, a little later on my coast, but getting up early and joining me to discuss this journey to success. We look forward to continuing to watch yours.
So thank you for having me on, Mark.
Thank you.